Any doubts so far? No, right?
Yeah, no doubts.
So we can start for next exercise. So far what you have seen is we have created a database, and inside that we have created a table called student table. Okay. So this is how to create a database and a table. Okay, table is here what we called as a collection. Okay. If you want to delete this table, what you can do is you can do this drop collection, and then you need to type student. So just for confirmation, you don't delete it by accidentally. So you need to type the student like the collection name or a table name. So right now we are not going to do that. And if you want to delete the whole database itself, so you can do a drop database by the database name. Okay, if you give the database name, it will delete the whole database name. Okay, so right now we don't need that one also. So we don't need that. So we are just going to so we have a database and then we have a table. So what we are going to do for today, like what we are going to do now is we are going to insert some records into this table, and then we can see like how we can edit or modify the record and how we can delete some records from that, and other things. Okay, so here that is called each and every row is called document. So if you want to add data or document, you can do from two methods. You can import file or insert a document. So if this import file is going to be can be a JSON or a CSV, you can backup of this database as a JSON or a CSV, and you can import that. So right now we are going to just insert using manually. So if you like, you can click by using insert document. So give that, you will come, you can see something similar to this one here. So this is the basic JSON structure which will show off. Okay, which will come off. Okay, so this underscore id, this underscore id is like by default what this MongoDB will do is it will create a primary key called underscore id in each and every table, and it will auto populate this value for you. Okay, so you don't need to worry about this one. The underscore id is like your primary key. So the primary key is like a unique value. Primary key contains a unique value, so basically it doesn't have any duplicates. So using this unique value, right, you can identify any record simply like you can do like a kind of a query, and you can identify that unique record like using this value. So your enrollment number is a unique id, a kind of a unique id, where in the case you can use it as a primary key for your student table, because your unique id is not going to be coming like it does not have a repeatable value. So there is no chance same student like a same enrollment number or kind of that is going to be assigned for two students. So you can use that for your PK, primary key. So any doubts on on primary key? What is kind of a primary key like that? Any doubts so far?
No.
Okay. So here the primary key is created. So what you can do is you can tell what is the JSON, like what is the document structure you want to create. Something you can do like next I should have my name, and I can say my name is something similar to this. Like that also you can write, or they are giving like kind of a table structure where you can do with this table structure is you can do like this add, and then you can add one more thing called something. I will do like here, wait, can have my age, and the data types I can give from here. So these are the data types which are supported from the MongoDB. So array, a binary is like a binary structure zero, like a binary kind of format, and boolean is true or false. And these many types which it is supporting, basically we'll use arrays and booleans and date. Double is something which is used for with fractional values, and integer is mostly will use integer 32 or 64. Both things are fine. Not like integer 64 you can save a huge number, and the integer 32 you can save like a kind to an extent or to a limit. Okay, then you will have something called object id. So this object id is like the id, the underscore id is going to be a type of object id. So by MongoDB itself having a separate data type called object id, which is going to create you a unique id, and it is going to handle by itself. So we don't want to do any stuff with that. So this is your object id and string, and we will use the string. And apart from this, we'll use sometimes, maybe we can use timestamp. Okay, and other stuffs you don't use that much, so you don't need to know deep again, like do that much on that one. So for my age can be like a integer 32 itself is enough, and then I can put my age something similar to this. So I gave my age, and if you add one more, if you want to add one more column, like one more key value or a kind of column, you can press this plus here, and you can say like this is my going to be my mark. So mark, we have seen, right, it is going to be a list of values for each and every subject. So I can set it as a subject, and then I can tell it is going to be a string of 32, and I can give my marks as like 90. And if you want to insert one more thing, what you can do is you can do a plus. So you can give a next item, you will get next item. You can change it into a kind of integer, and then you can give it something like kind of 50. So this is how you can create your document structure if you want to insert into using this GUI, or you can use your CLI command line interface also. But that this GUI is very user friendly for you guys to create at the start. So at the start, as a fresher, you just create with this one. So once you got a hang of this one, then we can move into a kind of a CLI kind of structure. So that is also fine. So once you have created your all your needed rows and columns, right? And I will create one more thing, and after my say like kind of a class, and this class I can say like an integer, and for age 10 he will be in a class of 7. Can give like this. Okay, so if you change into kind of a JSON or kind of a document, right? You can see over here how the document will look like for this particular input value. So you can, if you know how to give it in the document structure, you can directly do it over here. But at the start you can use this one, and you can see how it is going to come for you, and then you can, and moving on, you can directly type over here. So it is easy when comparing to this one. And this is how we can do. And to insert, you just click on this insert. So it will insert one record into your MongoDB. So now we have created one table called student, and inside that we have inserted our first record. So this is how you can do inserting. It's like insert into is there, which is similar to SQL, right? Same we are doing it here in the MongoDB. So far, any doubts?
Yeah, no doubts.
Okay. Then if you want to like basically at start it will show everything as hidden. So every inner is hidden object. If you click on this drop down like kind of thing, it will show all the kings or documents for you. And the next thing what you can do is you can edit a particular value, which is your update. So if I let case in the sense I gave this mark one value of wrong. So what I can do is I can just update this one, and I can change this mark value something like kind of 80. Now you can, what you can do is you can update your things. So this is how you can easily do a update. Like this is a update query in kind of MongoDB. So this is to do update. And the next thing is you want to add kind of one more record. Let's say you want to add one more record. So you want to manually type everything, right? Name, age, mark, and everything. What you can do is you can have this copy document. So it will copy the document into your clipboard, and you can use it. So if I want to say I want to add a document, like I will go into insert document, and then I'll paste it over here, and take this object ID which is coming by default. I just took this object ID and I replaced this object ID with this one, and I removed all this one now. So now I can see, like you can see my object ID with the newer one, name and everything is copied and came for me. I'm just going to make this as student one, and then age is going to be same. His mark is something like 70 and 60. I can change my things and I can do this insert. So this is how you can do a kind of a copy a document and insert again a new record. Okay, this is one more use case you can do with this one. And the next thing is you can clone a document. So clone a document in the sense it will create a new clone of this whole document, and it will go into insert into screen. So this is how you can you manually did, right? You just copied your whole thing and you came here and you did this insert document. Instead of that, what you can do is you can do a clone. So it will go into the insert into directly into the insert into UI page. And now what I can do is I can change my student to and kind of like this is 90 and this guy is 30, and let's say this guy is of class 8. I change this all this stuff. I did the insert. A new record will be inserted. So these are some kind of ways where you can insert this record manually into this particular table. So this is how you can do insert into in different ways. So far, any doubt? I hope there are no doubts. If anybody has anything, no, right? Okay. Uh, I will clone. Wait, I will clone one more thing. Baseline. Okay, I inserted one more student record for now. If you want to delete this record, so you will delete from the table. So instead of that, what you can do is you can click on this delete icon. It will ask for a confirmation. Do you want to delete this particular record? Click on this delete. Like this, the record will be deleted, so it will go from your table. So this is how you can do a CURD operations using this compass in kind of a MongoDB. Okay. Um. Okay. I hope this one will also be clear. So far what you have seen is we have seen how to create a table, create a collection, which is like how to create a database and create a collection, which is your table, and then how to insert some documents, which are rows, into your MongoDB. And there is one more thing, like I will clone this document again, and then I will have this as student 3, which is HB 11, and this class is of 7. Let's say I want to specify one more value for this particular kind of guy. Okay, so let's say any value what we can give here is what we can give something. I'm giving something. Okay, it's not similar. So I'm giving something called new journey, like or let's say let's say DOB. I have the date of birth for this guy. I can give it over here. So I can add any kind of argument which I needed for this one. Or let's see what I can have it one easily to relate this stuff. Mm, Any column which I need to add. I will have address itself. So I just added this address is of new street. Let's say new state. So I just added this address. So if I insert this, you can see the address is added, but this document doesn't have any address. So these rows doesn't have any address, but this row is again having address. This is something is not feasible in kind of a RDBMS, like kind of a Postgre or MySQL, any kind of a relation database management system. But in the case of MongoDB, you can do with this one because it is a non RDMS DB, so there is no relation, and your schema is totally dynamic. You can add any kind of records to any kind of documents. Okay, you can have a number of fields. So if you see over here, so it basically tells it is this field is not there, and for particularly this for student 3 alone, it has a new student record. This address is there only for this student 3 only. So this is to get the list view, and if you want to see it in a document kind of view, you can give it this one. And if you want to see in the tabular format, you can give the tabular format, and you will see the whole thing in a tabular format. So something similar to a kind of a RDBMS, and you can edit, copy, delete, or clone, or kind of all the steps are also available over here. Okay, so far any doubts? Okay, I hope there are no doubts. So next topic which we are going to see now is called indexes. So indexes is something what I can do is you can create an index. So what the index is going to do is it is going to track where your document is saving. So it is going to track where your document is saving. That's the address location it is saving into your disk. So these indexes are very useful when you are doing a read operation. So if you index a column, and if you are doing any kind of operations, let's say I index my name column, and if I am doing any queries on this name column now, so it is already indexed, right? So it will know like what are like where this particular names are available for me. So the search operation will be very very fast when you see for the indexed column when comparing to a non-indexed column. So indexes is like it will create one more kind of entry in your database, like not in a database background, it will create one more entry, and it will say like this Rahul is saved over here, the student one is saved over here, so the student who has been saved over here, like that it will create a kind of a lookup table. So using this lookup table, your queries are will be very very faster when comparing to a non-indexed column. So if you are like, let's say if you are going to have a lakhs of records into a particular table, and right, some fields can be useful to do some queries. So in our previous example, we have seen in this example, right, we have seen this enrollment as number is something we are going to query it out. So if we want to read a particular data for a particular student, so we need to go with the enrollment number. So this enrollment number is something if you can create an index of, then the search query is using this enrollment number, which is like select star from student where enrollment number equal to, you are giving this where and the enrollment number, right? This condition, if that column is indexed, the query will be very very fast when comparing to non-indexed queries. So if you are having a huge number of records and if you are going to read some value from that table, you can index that particular column, so that the reader will be very very fast. But don't index each and every column, because index is going to create one more record on your database internally, and it is going to consume some data, like kind of a space. Okay, so don't index all the columns, just index what are the column which you are going to query it out. So that is one thing. So I'll create an index for now. So I'm just clicking index. So by default, right, so all the primary key will be indexed. So by default all the primary key will be indexed. So ID, you can see this index is created for this ID. If you want to create one more index, I need to just click on this create index, and then I need to put my index name. So what is the index name I can put? So mostly we'll do search using the name. So on what is the field which you are going to put? So my field is going to be my name. I selected my name, and it is like same default. So I'm creating this, and I created this index. So now my index is created. So now if I do any search operation using this name query, name field, the search will be very very fast when comparing to we have done like previously. If you have done right, it will be slower, and comparing to this one, it will be very very fast. And you can see right now it is going to take the size. So right now my name is taking nearly 20 KB of size. So for only 1 2 3 4 5, like 1 to 4 records, it is taking nearly 20 KB. In the case, think of like if you are having nearly of thousands and thousands of record, it is going to size for you. So index the column which are only frequently used in the queries, or in the kind of and conditions or where condition. If you are, let's say if you are not going to use this condition particular thing on your and condition, don't do this one. So address is something we don't search an user. Mostly we don't search any user by using his address, so we don't need to query it out, like we don't need to put a filter for this address, like index for this address. Okay, clear so far, like where why this index is used, and where we need to use and how we need to use, like where we need to create this index. Clear with this one? Any doubts still? So far any doubts?
No.
Okay, and we have seen mostly covered how to insert and other things, and we have covered index. So we'll write some queries for now. Okay, we will write some queries. So let's say I want to do some filter conditions. Okay, so what you can do is you can use this filter options, and um, let's say I want to do some filters using like what is in like field name which you are going to put. So I'm going to put my name, and then what is a value which I'm going to put over here. So inside this again the this one I'm going to put dollar, and then I'm going to put equal. So it is going to be my equal to sign. So I'm giving my value here. So my value should be like Rahul. So this is my filter query which I have wrote here, and now I'm pressing my enter. So you can see, right? So this is like similar to select star from this student table where name equals to Rahul. So the same thing which you are writing over here. So name which is equal to Rahul is only going to query it out for me. So this is a simple query which you can write in a MongoDB. Any doubts on this like bare minimum simple query? Okay, I hope there is no doubt. Let's say you want to filter out every records whose names are not equal to Rahul. I want to exclude only Rahul, but I need again everything. So what you can do is you can wrap this out into a kind of a not condition. So what I'm going to do over here is I'm going to put like and I'm going to use this not. So you can see not is coming for me, and I given if I put this one, so you can see all my names are coming, which is like only the Rahul name is excluded, and every other names are coming for you. This is how you can use a not condition on a you can have a MongoDB. Okay, these two queries are clear. I will go to the next one. So I clear this one. Let's say you want to do some kind of a logical operation. So what I can do is I want everyone whose class is greater than equal to 7. So what I'm going to do is class, and then I'm going to use the document ID again, and then now I need to put equal, just like equal. So I can give equal, and I can give 7. So my class is equal to 7. So only the 7th class peoples are coming. Okay, so let's say I want to get all the students which are less than class 7. So for that, there is something called LT. So this is less than. So I put now there are no students who are less than class 7. Okay, so less than or equal to if you want to put LTE. So this will give you less than or equal to kind of conditions. And let's say you want to use greater than. This is GT. You can get all the students which whose class are greater than 7. Okay, this is how you can do kind of less than, greater than, and some kinds of query using this one. Okay, clear with this one?
Yeah, clear.
Okay, then let's go into the next one. Let's say we want, I will reset this, so I will get all my records. I want to fetch like kind of records where element matching, where I need to fetch a guy whose mark is equal to something, let's say 30. I want to get the guy whose mark is equal to some kind of 30. So what I can do is I can do like this. So since it is mark, since it is available inside a list, what you can do is you can do a element match. And what you can do is inside element match, oh wait, you need to wrap this again to kind of this one. Okay, inside element match I can give like what is my value, so just like a dollar equal to, and I can say like kind of a 30. So it will give student mark who's equal to 30. So if they like any one of the mark which is equal to 30, you can get using this kind of query. Well, this is one more thing which you can do. I will reset it. And let's say you have this document ID with you. So which is your unique primary key which you have, and you want to query it out using this unique key. Okay. So I copy this unique key. So I want to read get a record for this particular ID value. So I gave this one, and if I gave this ID value in string, you won't get anything because it is a type of an object ID. So to this, what you need to do over here is you need to pass this into a function called object ID. So what it will do is it will change this string into a kind of an object ID, and inside that you are giving your value. So now you can see what is the value which you have, like what is the like kind of a query which you are given, like for this ID this is the value which you are getting. Okay, this is how you can query it out using a kind of a object ID. If you are going to do with this query with a kind of ID, you need to go with this object id method, so then only it will work. So this is how you can do all kind of query operations. And I think you have an option over here to export to language. Let's say you wrote a query over here, you got this query, now you want to use this kind of query into a kind of a Python language or kind of C. So what you can do is, so this is something which is giving you a basic you like snippet code to filter out this query. So this is the query respect to Python language. And if I do this include import statement, so it will tell you. So we are using this function called object ID, so we need to import that. So this is where you can use, like, import this object ID. And let's say we are going to code in Java. So in Java, you this is how the query will look like, and this is how in Node the query will look like, and this is how in Shiash will look like. So you can copy this from here, and you can put it into a code when you're doing this code later on in the session. So maybe in the upcoming session we'll use this one to connect with our API. So on that place it will be very useful for you guys to convert your query directly into Python, like any language specific queries. Okay, so far any doubts? So we have seen how to write a filter conditions now. So what are the, like, kind of greater than, less than, and equal to, how to match element inside an array, and how to query it out using this object ID so far. So these are like some kind of basic filter operations like which are available for us. I hope any doubts till it or no? Okay, I hope there are no doubts. Then let's say, like, we want to write a query where we don't need the select star from option. We need to select only the name at the back. So I want the like a name of a guys for the class of 10. So I need to put a class, and then what you can do is you can directly put 10 also over here. This is only applicable for equal to. So you can directly put 10 over here. And what is the field you want to show on the response? So I want to show name, and I want this name. This is like yes or no. One basically says yes, and zero basically says no. If I do this, okay, what happened now? Okay, I think something problem with this one. Do I have anyone with class 10? Or I don't have them. Just reset. Just reset this one. Oh my god, where is this class 10? Okay, no one is having a class of 10 now. Okay, that is a problem. So we'll take only from class 8 then. So I will take class. Okay, this class of 8. So I'm going to take every people from class 8. Now what I need to, I need only their names. Let's say I need only their name. So I'm giving name, then I'm giving this one. So basically the one means it, the only this value is needed. So what it will do is it will return only your name value now. So if you see here, the name of this particular student who is at class 8 is this one. So you will get this object ID back anyway, because this is your primary key you need most of the time. So it will be written. And let's say you don't want the name alone, but you want every other field. So what you can do is you can give it a 0, so that you will get every other fields but not the name alone. Okay, so let's say I want to do it for class 7. I can change like this. And let's say for class 7 I need all the name list. What I can do is I can do like this, so you'll get all the names alone for the class 7. Okay, this is where your project will be using. So what are the values which you put over here, that will come in the end result. It is like select star, right? The star which you are giving over here, instead of that you are giving name now. Okay, any doubts so far? Okay, and I'm going to this. um I will take this out. So let's say we are going to do a filter option over here. So I'm going to do a filter option using my age. Okay, so now you can see here 10, 10 and 11 is coming. If we give this, it is in ascending order. If we give this -1, it will come into a descending order. So what is a key, which, like, what is a field name which you are doing, which you are going to do on the filter option? And if it is of 1, which is going to be your ascending, and if it is going to be of -1, it is going to do a descending order on your thing. So it is basically order by. So in plain SQL you will do order by, and you will give column as ascending or descending. Same thing which you are going to give over here. So this is how it is going to look like. Uh, and we have few things, and we can use the skip and limit. Okay. and this is something you don't use most of the time. So the next thing is the skip. So this the skip and limit will be very useful when you're querying out with a large or a huge kind of database. Okay, let's say we have only 3 records now. Imagine if you are having 3 lakhs of records, you cannot just export this 3 lakhs of records and you cannot do this iteration like over there. So what you can do is you need to do kind of a batch process. If you export this 3 lakhs record, this is going to be very slow, because the 3 lakh records has to come from your database to your particular Python program or Java program, any kind of program which you are going to write, and over there it needs to handle that many records, and these many records are coming and going to sit into your memory. So it will basically slow up the whole process. Okay, so instead of that, what we can do is you can do like a batch kind of thing. Okay, I will take first 100 records and then I will give only for the 100 records. Then I will take next 100 record and I will go for the next 100 and the records. So imagine this one record is your 100 records, so that we have 300 records. So instead of taking 300 records, okay, imagine this is one record is equal to 100 records. Okay, so now we have a 300 records. Instead of taking 300 records out, what we can do is we can take it as a batch and batch of 100 records. So first, I need the first batch of records. So I need like from 0 to I need a first 100. So for now, we are assuming that one record is equal to 100 records. So I'm giving this 1. So it will basically skip 0 rows and limit to 1. So it will carry it out until what is the number which I'm giving. So it has find only the first one. Okay, so it skipped 0 records, and it has find the until 1. So on the next time, what you can do is you can do like kind of 1, and you can do like what is my next record. I can get it by this one. Like do a find. Okay, why this 2 is coming. So I need to skip 2 records and then I need to get my next record. So I want to skip like that. Like what you can do is you can give like 0, and then you can give like some kind of a 500. You can take batch and batch like 500 records. The first 500 records you will get. To get the next 500 record, what you need to do is you need to do 501, and then you need to give some kind of 1,000 over here. So this is how your skip rows and your limit is going to handle. So skip rows is going to skip the number of rows or number of records which is going to come in your result, and the limit is going to be how much of like what is the maximum number of records it want to fetch. So this is how a skip and limit will be useful in the real time scenario. So far, any doubts? Like you just skip of 1, it will skip only the first record and it will give you return back of 2. And if I limit only 2, it will give you only the 2 records, first 2 records. Is any doubts so far? So we have covered most of our filter operations, like filtering, what is how to get only the values that you need, and how to do shorts. And this is something basically similar to your language specific. So if you have something which is written in Chinese, you want to query it out, you can use this option. So mostly we won't need it for now, so we just skipped it out. And we have a skip limit, and this basically means how much time you should take the query, and this is something you are not going to use it out, so don't worry about these 2 options right now. Apart from that, any other doubts so far? I don't think so. There are some doubts. Okay, I will go into next topic. So we have covered index and we have covered this whole documentation. So to look like, and we have seen these trees, and we have seen the CURD operations. This is also done. The next thing which you are going to see is view. Okay, so what is a view? View is kind of place, like kind of a read-only place where what you can do is you can view records in a particular format which you want. So let's say you have a student table, and you have your mark list out there, and then you want to see who and all passed and who and all failed. Let's say I have my student table. I need to check only peoples of class 7. So this is some of the things which I'm going to run frequently. So at least like let's say for 1 hour once I will go and run this query. So and then I will read this record from there. So what you can do is, instead of going to the database and running the query and getting the data back, what you can do is you can create a view. So what this view will do is it will basically run a kind of set of queries, and then it will show a table in a kind of a read-only format. From there you can read, but you cannot do any kind of write over there. Okay. So these views are very faster when comparing to running any queries, because it is predefined link and it is running query in the background. So your query will be very very fast and you can get those view easily. Okay. Right now we'll create a view. Okay. So to create a view, you need to go into this aggregation tab. So in this aggregation tab, what you need to do is you need to create a new aggregation. So this is a aggregation query which you are going to write. Okay, now I'm going to select this one, and then I'm going to select this match option. So I need to match, um, where is this match is there? So I need to match a particular column. So what is the column I need to match? So I need to match this class, and its value should be equal to 7. So I've given this 7. So it has like kind of, I think this option is giving you my what is my auto preview, like a preview value. So if I deselect it, it will go off. So I selected, so these are the values which are going to come for me, and then I can add some more stitches. And on that top of that, what I can do is I can do short, and I can do like kind of a age, and I can do like 1. Okay, so this is how. So I have choose the peoples of 7th class, and then I'm giving a sorting option by age, and then I'm sorting out by ascending order. This is how your end result will look like. Okay, so right now what I need to do is I need to save this as a view so that I can easily come and see it over there. So what I can do is, so over here there is save. So instead of that, what I'm going to do is I can save as a pipeline. Okay, this is a pipeline, don't do it. So right now we are going to create only views. So create as a view, so it will ask a name for this one. I'm just giving student class of 7. So it's going to give only the 7th class students, right? So I created this one. So if you see now, we have a student table here, and we have a student class of 7 view over here. So the icon is different, right? You can see only the view icon over here. It's just like eyeball kind of icon. So if you come here, you can see only copy document. So in the student, we have something like kind of edit, copy, clone, and delete, right? But in the case of student, this view, there is only this copy option, and you can have your filter. Again, these filters are going to be same. Okay, you can do whatever the filters you want, but it is like kind of only a read only. So what I can do is I will go and change this particular guy. So this is student 2. I will change this from class 7 to class 8. I changed him and I just upgraded this guy. So if I go back to the student here, this view here, you can see again the student 2 is coming now here. So this is just a read only view. So this is very useful when you are doing on read options. You can see here, right? Read only. So this is very useful when you are going to do run some kind of queries on a regular interval. So on that place you can create this view. So reading this from, like, if you are going to reading this from this view, it is like read operation or select query operation from this view are very faster when comparing to a normal reading on this one. Okay, this is the advantage of view. So like let's say you want to do some kind of a dashboard, or let's say you want to show some kind of reports to the user for each 1 hour. Over there, what you can do is the tables which you are needed for this one, you can make it as a view. All these conditions and other stuff, you can make it as a view, and you can have a view in your table. So that for each and every 1 hour, you don't want to run that highly complex queries on across your database. Instead of that, what you can do is you can come and read from this view, and you can get this data. So far, any doubts?
No.
Okay. So this view is also something we covered. Okay. Okay. I covered this thing. We have covered how to create an aggregation query and view. We this explain plan is something you don't need for now. Okay, don't care about this. We have covered our indexes, and we'll see only the schema. something is remaining. So if you do analyze, what it will tell is what are the schema which you are using and how much of things are you are using. So right now, if you see, this ID is there in all my kind of objects. Where in the case of address is available only one object, other are not having this address, right? So you are getting this for this 25, 75% is undefined, and only one guy is having this address, and the age everyone has. And these are few kinds of options which is available in this one. You don't need it much of time, but this is just to know like how much, like how, what are the schemas which are available and how much percentage of records are available for you. Okay, this is something can good to know, but you don't need it for any kind of activities. And this explain plan is also something, if you go through it you won't get it right now, so don't go through this one. This index is clear. And this validation is something like you can add some validation. So you can say like what are my records, like right now we haven't done any kind of validations, right? So we haven't done any kind of validation, so it is accepting kind of records with address and without address. So this record is not having address, this record is having address. So in the validation you can create a rule and you can say what are my required fields. So what it will do is it will check all the required fields are available or not in the validation. So we don't need this one also basically, so this one also we don't need it, pretty much not needed. And mostly we need this views and indexes. We'll create indexes and our db size is very very large, and we'll use this query operations to read and write, to read this. And we use this insert, edit, update, and deleting record and delete databases, and that's all. Most of the things we'll use only with this one. Okay. And I hope that's all pretty much on a MongoDB on a start level. So this whole things are needed, like basically enough for you to start working with this MongoDB. Like apart from this, there are larger concepts which you don't need at a starting point. So these are a few things you can do. You can work on a project with this kind of knowledge. So any doubts so far? If there are no, like I will give at least 2 to 3 minutes on any doubts. I think if there are no doubts, I think we can close the session somewhat earlier today. Oh, that's all. I think I covered pretty much everything. Any doubts? Sorry for that. Any doubts on this? Any concepts like what is the difference and where to use this MongoDB or where to go with this SQL kind of DB and relational databases, and any doubts so far what we have gone through still today? Can be any older topics like anything in Python also, that is fine. Any doubts so far?